Hey folks. So I decided to make a video today for you about some thoughts on narcissism. So this video is for you potentially if you know someone who has narcissistic traits or narcissism, or that someone is your loved one, your parent, your partner, ex, and so on. Narcissism in our society, it's a very complex topic. We discuss it in a lot of ways, but they're not always very helpful to understand what it is and how to deal with it and how to stay safe from narcissistic abuse. So basically, my 2 cents on this is that we live in a narcissistic culture that kind of values narcissistic behavior in business and in governance with Trump, in entertainment and media and so on. So that doesn't help. But then, yeah, usually narcissism kind of exhibits in a person trying to gather attention and being like very hungry for attention, but doing it in a very sophisticated way. So a lot of time and effort has been invested in the narcissist getting the attention that is essentially food for them, but in a way that is not so obvious. They can be very liked by a whole bunch of people. They can be in a very good first impression or second impression and so on. And usually people who are not so close to them can't really spot the patterns of behavior that are abusive. But then often for people who are close to narcissists, they can have a hard time, especially with emotional abuse, verbal abuse, and so on. Having said that, narcissism, what I found as an inner experience, it's essentially a highly fluctuating sense of self-worth. So a person might feel like a god at one moment or one day, and then another they can feel like the lowliest worm. And so that fluctuation of of self-worth, of their sense of self-worth, can really be painful, and it can have this roller coaster nature or feel to it that is actually very turbulent and full of distress on the inside for the person. So that's one thing. And overall, like, one thing to know if you're close to someone who is a narcissist is, first of all, how to spot a narcissist. Like, I would definitely look at some YouTube videos. Dr. Ramani is fantastic for that. Also, she's fantastic at getting you angry at having lived through abuse and so on, and getting you to be in your corner and stop gaslighting yourself against this. But so definitely make use of those videos. But overall, what's important to know is that you can't help a narcissist. If they don't want to change, you doing anything is just not ever going to help. The only way the narcissist can change is if they do it themselves. So they can, if it comes from inside of them and they seek help, there is hope they can be helped and they can help themselves and they can change. But if you are trying to change them, whereas they don't want to do it, that's a trap. And so definitely, yeah, be aware of that. And then one more thing to say is that overall, narcissism is a response. It's a normal response to a super abnormal situation. So something super traumatic and bad has happened to that person, probably when they were very young, that they just had to develop this response of, okay, I am the bestest of them all, and this is how I'll go about my life, and this is how I'll get what I need. And although that can inspire compassion, and it does inspire compassion in me, it doesn't mean that you can help as an outside person. It doesn't mean that you can help a person. It just means that you can get to a place inside yourself more compassion. But it doesn't mean that you can change a person unless they themselves are at the core of that urge, of that journey. Yeah. So what else would I say? Yeah, keep going. And I hope that's helped. There's a kind of like my hard-won lessons on narcissism that really made a difference in my life, and I hope they do for you too.